Alright, so for the power phase of resistance training, we're going to be doing 3 exercises for day 1. The first 2 are going to be supersetted. Those are going to be a barbell bench press, and then a barbell bent over row. Again, working opposing muscle groups there. And then the third exercise will be performed by itself. That is going to be a barbell push press. So the first one, like I mentioned, is the barbell bench press. So you can be laying down here on your little bench. Get this more in the camera. So you want those 5 points of contact is what you really want. So again, those 5 points are your feet, your butt, shoulders, and head. So you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points of contact. So again, so you want to start, if you were taking it off of the rack, you want to align your bar right with your eyes. That way when you take it off, it's in a good starting position. So from here I'm doing a closed grip. I want to hook my thumb under. You don't want to grab it, if you can see, with your thumb under. That's just kind of dangerous. You want to tuck that thumb under and grip it. You want to grip it a little wider than shoulder width apart. And then you want to start with it right above your chest after you unhook it from the rack. So from here, I want you to drop it. I would want the athlete to drop it straight down to your, right below your chest, kind of that upper rib region, and then push straight up. You can even push up and back a little bit, but try to keep it primarily just straight down and straight up. A lot of people, when they do this, the elbows are come way out here. You want to try to have the athlete avoid that. That puts a lot of pressure and tension on the shoulders. So when you do it, you want to try to keep your elbows as tucked close to your ribs as you can, and you want to push straight up. It's also important that you don't want the wrists to flare way back. You want to try to keep those wrists neutral. So when you come down, my wrists are engaged, pushing straight up. So yeah, and then when you do it, when you come down and explode up, a lot of times if the weight's heavy, you'll see the athlete lift their lower back off the ground, off the bench. You don't want that. You want the back to stay nice and flat on the bench. So you come up, get my wrists are engaged, coming straight down to my chest, elbows are tucked, pushing straight up, and my lower back is staying, my back, head staying flat on the bench. So that is the barbell bench. Again, very common exercise, but I've seen it done wrong so many times. So then we'd be supersetting that one with a barbell bent over row. And just like for the maximal strength day, any time that you're going, the back position is going to be your #1 area of concern. So when I do these, I personally like to have a supinated grip. I just think it takes more pressure off of the shoulders and it helps me engage my back. So that's how I'll be demoing, but again, you can do it with a pronated grip, just kind of up to the athlete, whatever they feel engages their back more. I would say use that grip because it's all about the athlete and what they feel, and since this works the back, you want to have them use a grip that helps engage the back the most. So to do this one, you're going to start with your feet roughly about shoulder width apart. You're going to want to bend the knees at about a 1/4 to half squat, and then from here, a lot of times people think that they need to get their back all the way parallel to the ground. You can. That's more called a pendlay row. If you want to do that, that's great, but a lot of times people don't have that flexibility or the lower back strength to do that. So for the bent over row, as long as the athlete is bent over and their back is straight, I'm okay with that. So again, I'm going to do a supinated grip. I'm into that squat position. And as you can see from here, you want to you're almost doing an RDL to the starting position. So you're dropping your butt back, hinging at your hips, nice and straight. So as you can see, my back is nice and straight. I'm not down here, my shoulders aren't rounded. Again, I'm nice and straight. So from my shoulders to my hips, it's a nice straight line. So from here, just like the other row, I'm moving, pulling the bar up. And for this one, you want to pull right up to your navel. Again, I'm squeezing my shoulder blades, holding. Again, I'm keeping my elbows tucked close to my ribs, pulling the bar up right to my navel and back down. One common mistake you'll see from a lot of people, like I mentioned, is the row itself is fine, but as they start to become more fatigued, their back will start to round. So you want to make sure that the athlete the whole time has that back nice and flat. So that is how to do the row and kind of what to look out for. The next one is going to be a push press. So this is a great one in working on power. So it kind of combines a little squat with a military press. And for this one, a lot of people, they treat it like two different lifts. So like I said, they'll treat it like a squat and then a military press or shoulder press. You don't want that. So you want the legs are there to assist your upper body into getting that weight above your head. So you don't want to make it two different lifts. You want to combine them and make them nice and fluid. So for this, you can do this with dumbbells too. I'm going to show it with a barbell. So from here, the starting position is kind of like a front squat position. Feet are shoulder width apart, toes straight forward. From here, you're just only gonna do about a fourth squat. So just get a nice little bend in the knees. And then from there, you're gonna rapidly stand up. And while your legs are straightening and while your legs are pushing up, you wanna use that momentum from your legs to help you drive that bar up. So again, I've seen people do it. Well, they'll squat, stop, and then press. That's not a push press, that's a squat to a press. So again, from here, fourth squat, use that momentum to get that weight above your head. And again, you want your arms to fully lock at the top, fully lock, and then that's a solid rep right there. So again, you just want to use that momentum. And for this, you don't want to jump. You want to keep your feet flat on the ground. Fourth squat, when I'm coming up, use that momentum, throw that weight above your head. And again, you want to press the weight straight up. You don't want to have it come out like this. Fourth squat, you want to push it straight up. So that is the push press, again, just important. So for the bar, your grip is about shoulder width, just a little wider than shoulder width, as you can tell right there. And yeah, like the main thing is just to make it one fluid lift. Your legs are there to help you get that bar above your head. Don't make it two different lifts. So that is the barbell bench press, barbell bent over row, and the push press.